Hello my fellow cigar smokers and welcome to Smokers Pod and another night owl. We're smoking the Arturo Fuente Don Carlos Eye of the Shark. I'll tell you a little bit about this cigar in a while. Oh man, but that cigar is just wow. A subtle lemon flavor. And something woodish. Love it. Guys, this Arturo Fuente cigar somehow became one of my favorite cigars in the last couple of months. That was just crazy because the first time I ordered it was like in, I think, December or so. And it was more or less a coincidence. Because I was looking for, let me think, I don't know, something completely different. I think I was looking for the Andalusian Bull. Can't remember. Anyhow, there is this one small brick and mortar store in the eastern part of Germany called Tabakhaus Simon. And I was calling them, and then I was talking to one of the owners, and all of a sudden we were just talking about cigars and everything else, and then I said I'm looking for this and that, and while ordering on the phone, was asking like, what else do you have? And he said, oh, we have something special here, still left, kinda rare at the moment, the Arturo Fuente Eye of the Shark. And there are two versions, like the Don Carlos edition, and there is an Anejo edition, so a special aged edition with a dark wrapper, darker than this one over here. So I ordered both. And you know, from the first look, the Anejo, so the one with a dark wrapper, looked like it was just fitting my palate, you know. And it's a great cigar, but I smoked that one first, and it was a very good cigar. And then after a while, I tried here the Don Carlos edition, and from the first puff, there was like, Jesus Christ, that stick is just fabulous. So I keep on ordering the Eye of the Shark whenever it's available, and it's really one of my favorites. Not like a daily smoke, but frankly at least 2 or 3 per week easily. Cigar is a big secret somehow. You know that the wrapper is from Cameroon. Like a lot of Arturo Fuente cigars, they are using Cameroon wrappers, and the rest of the binder and the fill is Dominican Republic. And you know, the Vitola is something special. It's somewhere mixed between a box pressed cigar and a bellicoso, because at the foot it's completely box pressed. Well, not at the foot here, in the middle it's completely box pressed. When it's coming to the foot, it's getting a little bit rounder, and here at the end it's has a pointy end. So completely strange. But Arturo Fuente we're doing that already a couple of times, and there are some rumors why they call it Eye of the Shark. I read a couple of articles and saw a few videos where they were saying that they're calling the Eye of the Shark because the vitola, when you're looking at it, it's looking like the body of a great white shark. I cannot see that in there, but even if that would be the body of a great white shark, it's not called great white shark, it's called the Eye of the Shark. And man, I have no clue, but I'm pretty sure there was some idea behind that name. I just don't know why. But as I always say, you don't have to know everything about your cigar. Most important thing is it tastes good. Guys. Very happy to do the night owl again. And before we keep on talking and smoking, let's drink something. Today we have the Dalwhinnie 15 years old Highland single malt whiskey. That is a whiskey that's, you can drink it on every occasion because well, let's drink it first. Because that is like a whiskey for everyone. Because it's kind of mild and combines a little bit of peatiness with a very nice sweet flavor. A very, let's say, drinkable. So if you don't know what to drink together with a good smoke and you have no inspiration or whatever, just take the Dalwhinnie. It's like the standard Glenmorangie, for example. It's just you can just drink that thing, you know, like nothing. While I'm recording it, it's between Thursday and I know it's Friday, 10 minutes past midnight, and the Cohiba Behica review is just uploading. Taking fucking forever. Jesus Christ. I was uploading something else just before that, and it took like 5 hours. And I was looking at it, you know, and it was like remaining time was like 1 hour and something. I was leaving here the mini lounge. We're taking a walk with the dogs, you know. Spent a while in the kitchen doing my thing, and then coming upstairs again. I was looking at the remaining time, and it was still like 1 hour and 2 minutes. And I thought, okay guys, something's going wrong here. But finally the upload was successful, and now just shortly before I started here the recording, started the upload for the Behica review. And I don't know, probably will be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning until it's finally uploaded and processed. Let's talk about political correctness. at least for a while. It was so fucking funny. I think like yesterday, I was just surfing through my all the news websites I'm constantly checking and so on, and I saw an article about a group of people complaining about the new Amazon logo. They claimed it's looking like Adolf Hitler. No joke, guys. They saying the new logo looks like Adolf Hitler, and you have to change that. I was looking at it, and you know, that's one of these. I don't know if you know that pictures. They're like two pictures in one. You know, if you're looking on one perspective, it's looking like a woman, and if you're looking like on the other perspective, it's looking like, I don't know, like a donkey or something. You know, and then of course when you're reading that news, that hilarious news, and you're looking at the logo, you think, oh, okay, because there's this little black bar in the middle that's looking like a mustache, you know, and it's just crazy, you know, and and they changed it, you know, and now it's looking a little bit different, and I thought, oh guys, man, if that is the only problem you have, that you think that the new Amazon logo is looking like Adolf Hitler, man, there must be no other problems in the fucking world. If that is what is bugging you, gosh. What has it to do with political correctness? I don't want to dive too deep into that because, you know, no politics and so on, and that's absolutely cool. But I don't want to talk about politics. I want to talk about the way some people, the mindset of a few people out there, you know. I have the impression that there are a group of people, no matter where in the world, you know, Germany, United States, wherever, you know, it's always, everywhere is the same. You have a group of people where I have to, where I assume that they are just have nothing else to do than a whole day just looking around and finding something that that they can complain about, you know. It's like your neighbors that are pissed for whatever reason, you know, and they will like they will tell you like, oh man, that smoke when you're doing barbecue, I don't like that. And if it's not a barbecue, it's your cigars. And if it's not your cigar, it's your kids that are playing too loud. You know, like this, you know. And these people, man, I don't know. And it's like a spreading virus, you know, where people are complaining about bullshit, really bullshit. I mean, there are enough things in the world where you can complain about that are not fair, that are not running smoothly, that are not cool, that are cruel, whatever, you know. Millions of things, you know. And they find a new Amazon logo. Man, give them something to do, you know. Like, I don't know, man. Send them on the streets cleaning up the dirt or whatever, you know. I don't care. But these guys, they're starting to go on my nerves. And that's it for political correctness. You know, a couple of you guys who are very often watching videos here on the channel, you know, I'm not the most political correct person, you know. I'm not specifically looking for words that I can use in my reviews or not, because I think man, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to change. You know. Um, the way I lived for the last like 47 years, that were okay for me and for most people out there, you know. And all of the, not all of the sudden, but in the last couple of years, at least here in Germany, you see like these groups of people I'm talking about, you know, and they complaining about really nothing, you know, and they're just giving you a hard time for nothing. And all I want to do is like getting along with everybody, you know, but don't go on my fucking nerves because um, don't push it too far, you know. And a lot of people are just trying this, not with me personally, you know, but with things out there. Um, and I read it every day, like in a newspaper, you know. I see people complaining about this, and oh, we found this here, and did you read that old book that were published like 100 years ago? You know, did you see what kind of words they're using in that book? We have to change that because it might be possible that people are pissed when they're reading it. Jesus Christ. No, I mean it's nothing against like trying to avoid things that hurt other people. Uh, I mean, not even physically, like mentally, you know. Like when they're feeling insulted, and for good reason. That's okay, like you know. But at some, I don't know how you guys see it. I would love to hear you thoughts about it. Um, you know, my opinion is like I'm trying to be polite and respectful as possible, and I'm treating people the way I want to be treated, you know. And most of the time, I think that's a good way, you know. And that's like my general rule. So, but no matter what you do, some people will just never be happy, you know. And that doesn't matter where they're coming from, how they look like, what religion, whatever. I don't fucking care, you know. I'm like, I had a discussion with my daughter the other day, and she was asking me something about what I think about this and that, and I said, you know what? Um, I don't, I don't like put people in a box, you know. The way I decide if I like somebody or not is not because of like superficial things, you know. So either you like a good, friendly, and respectful person, or you're an asshole. No matter how rich you are, where you're coming from, whatever, you know. That's like the basic rule, you know. And that's it. That's it, man. Sometimes it's very easy, you know. Like I said in the, we've made that can you be an aficionado video where I said, man, sometimes it's like really easy. Enjoy the cigar. Try to make the best out of it and don't make it too complicated, you know. Because life is already fucking complicated, you know. No need to push it even further. Okay, I already said I want to stop the political correctness thing. Now I'm stopping it, really. Let me know your thoughts. That would be great. Oh yes. Look at that ash, man. Looking beautiful. Very complex, great development. Effortless draw. And it's just so creamy and buttery. It's like coating everything, you know. It's just a great cigar. If you ever have a chance, man, try to get that Arturo Fuente Eye of the Shark. Don Carlos. And see if you like it or not. making a phone call today, well actually yesterday, um, to my local Harley Davidson dealer. You know, a while ago we were talking about, I'm thinking about buying a new bike, and will it be an Indian or an Harley Davidson and so on. You know, and it wasn't so easy because we're still in the lockdown and the shops are closed. I mean, yeah, like everything is closed, you know. Um, besides the only like the system relevant shops like supermarkets, pharmacies, and like that, they're open, and of course tobacco shops. They really, no joke, they're open here. They seem to be system relevant, and I like that. Um, but I want to talk about Harley Davidson. So I was making a call to the Harley Davidson dealer and said, "Well, how's it looking, guys? I want to come over and take a look at a couple of bikes, and making like a test ride and just looking around." And he said, like, you know, actually we're open, but we are not allowed to leave people in. My first thought was, well, why then you open? But I said nothing. When he said, like next week they will, there's like a new they I don't even know how to put it. We're still in a lockdown, but now they're saying like we have like three different phases. Not phases, phases. Like three different levels. If we are below 100, an incident number of 100, what they are measuring is new cases per 100,000, and like a critical level is when it's above 50, and so we have to be below 50. And if you're below 50, a couple of shops are allowed to open under special circumstances. It's fucking complicated. Nobody understands it really, what's going on here. However, so the sales representative at Harley Davidson told me next week, we, under certain circumstances, we are allowed to leave people in. You have to make an appointment, then you're allowed to go into the shop and do your thing, So I've already made an appointment for next week, Friday. So next week, Friday, I will be at the Harley Davidson shop here in Frankfurt and riding a few bikes. And let's see where we going from that. But I'm happy. One tiny tobacco flake as it's somehow attached to my lips. If you have a bad day, we all have bad days from time to time. I'm reading good news. And with good news, I mean, for example, in Germany, we have like a website, a news website. It's called goodnews.eu. I don't know if like there's a dash somewhere in between, but got my point. And all they do every day is publishing good news. They're not talking about shit. They're just publishing good news. And that's one website I'm constantly checking, and the other one is also very good. It's the Canadian edition of Reader's Digest, and they're like every couple of weeks or so they're bringing out good news around the world. So if I have a bad day, sometimes you need to, and you need something that's like cheering you up or so. Very often that I'm checking the good news sites, to see what's going on in the world. Not everything is bad, not everything is fucked up. There are good things out there, so I'm reading the good news stories. And man, I was reading this week. I was reading like 2 stories that were just great. The first story was in Australia. They found a bee species where they thought, or they were like vanished for 100 years. The last time they saw one of these bees were in 1923, and just like last week or so, they found it again. Forgot where exactly, somewhere in Australia, they found this bee again. It's here we are again. I don't know what they were doing like for 100 years, but here we go again, collecting our shit to producing honey. I was reading the article and it was great, because as you might know, wherever you are in the world, we have problem with bees. They like their numbers are decreasing for obvious reasons, and most of us know it's important that we have bees. And so it's really good news, that they found this bee species that were vanished for 100 years. Just great. Just great, guys. And the next one. I have to check on my mobile because I want to give you a few more details about that. And this other one, I thought, that's great, Oh, and see, I was just talking about, that's here, the Reader's Digest edition from Canada. And there's a story from a guy in Barcelona, in Spain. The title of the story is The Art of Conversation Lives On. So here's this 20-year-old guy, Adria Blaster, and he's setting up 2 fold-away chairs and a sign in large letters that reads "Free Conversations." And he's sitting in front of the Arc de Triomphe. It's not in Paris. They also have one in Paris, obviously, but that's the Barcelona Arc de Triomphe. And he's sitting there and offering free conversations. That's all he's doing. He's sitting there. He's sitting on one chair, and he has another chair just in front of him, and the sign saying "Free Conversations." Just sit down. And he was doing that for months. And what a fucking great idea. We all know there are a lot of people out there who are alone. They're just alone, and they have nobody to talk to, And sometimes that's all you need. Talk to somebody about how you feel, about concerns, or if you have a good day, a bad day, or whatever, And he's telling stories like all sorts of people are just sitting down there and talking to him, about everyday stuff. Or sometimes he was explaining that sometimes there is people that are, it's like heartbreaking, like they're telling the stories of their life, like the worst thing that happened to them or whatever. And because of 2 aspects, I think that's a great idea. We all know like these free hotlines that when you're feeling bad, you can call them and just talk to somebody, about what's going on. And that's great. And one thing where I think why people are doing that is, so A, you're alone, but B, the people in your family or your friends or whatever, maybe you have something that you want discuss with them because they are too close. Sometimes you need somebody who's not so close. It's like we all know that sort of people who are like, we were talking in another episode about, I called them like internet Rambos. they're just very brave in the internet because they're like it's anonymous, and everything. But it also can have a good side. You can talk to somebody that you don't know, and he doesn't need to know your name or who you are, whatever. You just talk, and it has no consequences, no matter what you want to talk about, And sometimes I think that can like set you free in some kind of way, So I was reading that and I thought, oh, that's a great idea, It's just a great idea. It's like support other people with whatever you can do. Sometimes you don't need like money or something else. Sometimes all you need to do is like listen, listen to other people. And a lot of times that's help enough, So I think that was two great stories I was reading on my frequent trips through the good news portals on this planet. Yeah. And the good news is the Arturo Fuente Eye of the Shark is still a great cigar. So, what else happened this week? What was going on? Oh man, I don't know, like the last 2 weeks or so, I had the feeling that I was always, man, like busy is the wrong word, but had problems catching up on things, and no matter where, like on YouTube, like catching up on videos I want to watch, it was hard. And also catching up on a couple of other topics here in my neighborhood and family. And I found no reason, It's like I was about to do something, and then something else popping up and needed my attention. And then I was doing that, and when I was coming back, it was already too late for whatever, and I had the feeling, man, it was like the last 2 weeks, it was like every day was something, Just sometimes just tiny things, but I don't know if you know that. Sometimes it's just like tiny things are popping up everywhere, and all of a sudden the day's over. And it was like crazy this week. Um, but here another few good news. I was able to restock on a couple of cigars that were smoked all the cigars I had, like the Liga Privada number 9. I was finally able to get a new box of it. I was waiting for that couple of weeks. And the Romeo and Juliet, that White Churchill, got another box of that one. So even more good news. Postal service still sucks. 2 of the 3 packages arrived finally, but 1 is still somewhere on its way. It was good to hear, like the other day, Daniel Ravanelli, 505 Cigar Review Show, we also complained about the postal service, and he agreed with me that it sucks. It sucks big time. But we already covered that like last week and the week before, I think. At some point it makes no sense to getting upset about that, because some things you cannot change. They're just the way they are, you know. And I'm working on 1 episode. Still no. The working title is like From Seed to Cigar, something like this. Where I want to talk about different tobacco plants and different tobacco leaves, but especially about a topic that is, sometimes when you're researching for a cigar and you're reading what tobacco is used in the wrapper binder filler, you can read something like Cuban seed, you know, tobacco leaf ABC, Cuban seed, you know, and of course that means that the original seed was from Cuba. And I want to talk about why do you still call it Cuban seed, because like when you were leaving Cuba in like 1960s, in the 60s somewhere, and you were smuggling tobacco seeds out, I mean cool, and then you're like in Nicaragua and you put them in the earth, and then your tobacco plants are growing, and these plants, they're producing like when blossoms, and then you're getting the seeds out of it. I mean, like technically it's not longer a Cuban seed then. I mean the original, okay, but then the next generation, it's not longer a Cuban seed, because you were like growing it in Nicaragua. And there's like a discussion going on if you can still call that Cuban seed or not. And somehow that reminds me of the discussion we had in the last night owl, on the night owl before that, where I was talking about Cuban brand names that are used from. It somehow reminded me of that, you know. But I thought it might be an interesting topic to talk about. But I was doing a research on that topic, and then I figured, oh, that's getting complicated, you know. It's like I was working on like forever on the Humidor tour video to make it looking good and everything else, and took a lot of time, and it unravels that this episode I want to do is also a little bit complicated, because you're talking about things and you want to show them, you know, like in the video, and then you have to look for the right material that you can use and so on. And you're solving one problem, and then you figure out, oh, you need to do that too, and though it's taking its time, you know. I hope it will be finished this year. Oh guys, and you know what? The battery. Usually we don't do that, no cut in there, but the battery is getting low. So just 1 bar left, and I think it will go out every second. So guys, let me change the battery and I'm right back. Battery changed. Jesus Christ. You know how it is. I was getting the battery out, and usually I have like 2 spare batteries in the case, where my camera is usually in. I was unmounting here the camera from my tripod, was getting the battery out, wanted to take the new one, and nothing in there. So I had to look for the batteries, and it was in the charging device. It was in a different room. Here we go again. I wanted to talk about one more thing, and that like fits perfectly into the good news topic, or things that has to do with good news. And that's a book that I recently bought. That, man, it was like fascinating. You know, there are like two stores in general where I can spend an insane amount of money. The first, you probably already know that, is like in a cigar shop. We all have the same problem, probably. The second one is a bookstore, you know. Man, books, that is like, I just love books, you know. And sometimes they're closed right now, you know, lockdown and so on. But same thing happens when I'm like shopping on Amazon, you know, and looking through books and, oh, that sounds nice, and put it in the basket. Oh, that's looking great. Well, I know that author, put it in the basket, and all of a sudden you have like 10 books. And that happened to me a couple of weeks ago. And I can't remember, it was looking for something specific, but that like catched my attention, and I bought it. And just, well, it's the German edition, but I tried to translate it as best as possible. It's this one here. It is from Ken Mogi, and it's called Ikigai. Or maybe it's pronounced differently. It's a Japanese word. Ikigai or Ikigai. I'm not quite sure, but it doesn't matter really. And here it says Die japanische Lebenskunst, and in English that means like the Japanese art of living. And it's like a principle of the art of living, how to live long and happy, you know. And they are talking about 5 major aspects that needs to be considered in order to live long and happy, you know. And why is, you know, the fundamentals is coming from that a lot of Japanese people are getting very old, and for like forever science is trying to figure out why exactly is that the case, you know. And sometimes they, yeah, it's an island, they're eating a lot of fish and whatever, you know. And but one aspect is like Ikigai, you know. And there are 5 aspects in Ikigai that sounds very simple, but when you're trying to live that way, it might be hard. And a lot of these things we already covered in different reviews, videos, cigar talks I'm doing. And the five aspects are, the first one is start with little things, you know. Start with baby steps. Everything you do will start with one step, with one tiny thing, but you need to start it, you know. And the second one is learn to let it go, you know. As a general rule, you know. If something is not important in your life and just is more an obstacles than support, let it go, you know. Bad feelings, let it go. As I said, it's now very simple and superficial, but I'm just trying to make it clear what are the 5 aspects that are important in Ikigai. And the third aspect is like live in harmony, you know. pretty self-explaining. And the fourth is discover happiness in little things. And you know, that's so funny because I don't know, man, it was like the first night out or the second one, I can't remember. We were doing like, we had this challenge ongoing that was started by Ranch, Hearts and Cigar. Like 5 things that you are blessed with, you know. And I remember one thing I said, one of my blessings is that I'm happy. Even happy with little things, you know. And fuck, that is so important. Really. And the fifth and the last one is live in the here and now, you know. Live now, in the moment. Live in the moment. And don't think about the past, don't think about the future, live now, you know. Your time is now. So, like I said, just very superficial, but it's really into, if you want to, it's not like a funny lifestyle thing or coaching, bullshit, whatever. I'm not into that. That's a very old tradition in Japan, you know, and also you cannot like live it like 100%. Sometimes it's just worth being open for other cultures and other things that might be helpful in your own life, you know. And when I stumbled over this book, I thought, okay, man, it might be worth just taking a look, you know. And it has like, I don't know, like 200 pages, and if there's like 10 pages that were giving you something, you know, it's worth the time and the money, you know. So maybe you already heard about it. If not, take a look. You know, you can even look it up in Wikipedia. You don't need to buy a book. There are not enough material out there talking about Ikigai, and might be interesting. Just wanted to share that with you because honestly, I think, and also we had this a couple of times. We're talking about it. Just important to spread positivity, you know. Already enough shit's going on out there, and if you have good things that you can share it with other people, you know. Like a good cigar. Also worth to share it. And a good whiskey that's already empty. Great development. This creaminess is still there. And something woodish developed even further together with this sweetness. And it reminds me of something, but you know, there's sometimes it's like you're looking for, it's like for example, you're hearing or you're listening to this one song on the radio, you know, and you know that song, but for God's sake, you forgot the name of the band or the singer or whatever, you know, and you know how he looks like, you know that song obviously, but that name is just, it's like laying on your tongue, and you just cannot like put your finger on it, you know. And that's the same thing with, there's some sweetness in here, and I think I know what it is, but it doesn't want to come out. Doesn't matter. You know, unfortunately, it was pretty quick, you know. and it's because, you know, it's this half box press thing, and you know, when there are box press cigars, there's not so much tobacco in it, and it's always a little bit more soft, you know, and that's cool. That's one of the aspects of the cigar. Um, the good thing about it is flavors, development, construction is great. The bad thing, however, is it's pretty fast. You know, you're just like 40 minutes, maybe. But it's worth a smoke. Now let's remove the band and taking the last few puffs. So guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy life. Enjoy a good cigar. If the weather is nice wherever you are, go outside, enjoy the sun, you know. But most importantly, stay safe, and this time stay happy. Let's put it in the words according to Ikigai. Be happy, even with the little things, like a good cigar. Stay safe, stay healthy, my friends. I wish you a good night, and I hope to see you around at Smoker Spot. Cheers.